talk about Walmart and how we believe we could improve profit throughout the different regions. My name is Noelia.
I'm Gerardo.
And I'm Darian.
So to start off, we're going to talk about target advertisement. As we looked at the data, we realized that, as many of you guys pointed out earlier, the South is making the least amount of money. We're going to focus on the South. So go ahead, scroll it. Looking at the bottom part, this is a customer segment. So this table points out that we're losing the most money through our corporate customers. So in order to focus on how we could improve our businesses with the corporate customers, we looked at what they were purchasing, and we realized that they were purchasing office supplies the most. So with office supplies, there isn't really a lot of bad things that could go wrong with it. For example, furniture and technology, it could be like broken or something, and that's why they might be returning it. But with office supplies, it must be that the customers just didn't really like it. So what we did is we wanted to focus on the customers. And in order to improve our profit, we decided that by contacting the ones where we lost the most profit, which in this case would be Dean Solomon, talking to that specific customer and asking them why it was that they decided to return so much of our merchandise. Maybe you might be able to just emphasize on that problem specifically and improve the profit in that area. I will pass it off to Gerardo to talk about the negative profit due to tables.
Okay, so one of the things we noticed, I pulled up the table of sales. I pulled up the profit for tables because I realized that it was doing negative. And as you can tell, almost every item in the tables category is doing really bad. But so what I decided to do is I wanted to see if it was the sales. So I pulled up the sales and I found out that a lot of these items are actually selling really well. And so that got me thinking, well, what is it that is holding back the tables subcategory so much? And so to this, what I decided to do was I pulled up the average price per unit and the average price per the average shipping cost. So as you can see, the average shipping cost per table is about $60, so $58.73. And the average unit price is about $225. And so this showed us that tables is an expensive subcategory. And so in order to get it, it's going to cost us a lot more money. But this didn't explain to us why it was showing why we had such low profits. This didn't explain to us why it had such low profits, because an easy fix to this would just simply be raising the prices on tables so that you make more profit. And so after doing some more digging, we found that tables have the second highest return rate. And so after we realized that we're spending a lot of money on these tables, and a lot of these tables are getting returned. So we figured that the best way to deal with this is to implement a new policy, and that would be either making it so that if you return tables, that whatever you receive it in cannot be opened, or if you do decide to return tables, then you would receive store credit as opposed to monetary compensation for what you want to return. And I'm going to hand it off to Darian, and he's going to talk about Walmart's survival.
So another thing that we were finding is that we're losing a lot of money in the South, and this is actually due to the technology being returned. And oh, that's it, huh? Okay. So we noticed that the tables are being highly returned, and also the storage and organization. And
So basically, what's happening is that in the South, we're losing a lot of money through technology, and the biggest problem is phones and communication devices. So we thought maybe there were some problems with people not liking it and returning them, but then we went to go look at the return rate and we realized that we don't have any information on the return rate on the south. The green portion on the table is for the west and the bottom portion is for the east, meaning that that is all the information we had. So in order to be able to make better decisions on how to improve our profit and how to focus on certain markets, we realized that we need to fix how we import our data. So in order to make a concrete decision as to how we are gonna attack these problems, we have to have a system where we could track not only the return rate for all of the information, but make sure that the data that we have is consistent throughout all the regions. So to sum it all up, in order to make sure that we improve our profit, we decided that it would be better if we focus on certain markets and different regions, focus on the different return rates, and make sure that we have access to data from every part of our market.